So my name is Ravi Brahman. I'm representing Thai Houston. Thai actually started in the 1990s in San Jose, California. It was a 501c6, which means it's a business affiliated group. It started with a lot of Indian Americans, successful entrepreneurs who said, you know what, we need to do something for the community and give back. A lot of tech and energy entrepreneurs. And then they established this affiliation. And then from San Jose, started to evolve and is today in about 68 countries. 68 chapters, I think 20 some countries. And the membership has just evolved where we now have over 2,500 what we call charter members. These are successful executives who volunteer their time by giving money and by helping to foster entrepreneurship in the communities they serve.
Hi, my name is Kevin Doffing. I'm actually representing two agencies here today. Bunker Labs Houston is a chapter of a national nonprofit. We're building the community of veteran entrepreneurs and military spouses. So we do that by running a monthly series of events called Bunker Brews, where we just have fun, interesting people like Grace come out and talk to our community. And then we run a accelerator program in partnership with WeWork, the Veteran in Residence program, powered by Bunker Labs. So that's a 6-month program for 10 veteran or military family entrepreneurs. And we're in our 3rd cohort right now because we'll see what happens since that IPO. I told them to take advantage of every day you have, like it's the last one. You never know. And then we have a CEO circle of established small businesses that meet monthly for a half day to hold each other accountable, similar to like a Vistage group or the Silver Foxes, if you ever have heard of that. And if you haven't heard of Silver Foxes, that's a really great group. We ran a table for 7 years with them.
Thanks.
Yep. Because it's lonely and it's great to have friends to grouse about your employees. And then Combined Arms, for tomorrow as part of the Houston Innovation Summit, we have our day-long regional muster for Bunker Labs. So that's going to be at the camp from 1 to 6. So we have about 250 or 300 folks coming out to that tomorrow. So come out to the Cannon tomorrow for that. And then Combined Arms, where I serve as a COO, it is an organization that is a collective impact organization. So we act as the front door to Houston for the veteran community. So by that we have 60 agencies in our network that are connected digitally through our Salesforce platform where we conduct resource referrals. So instead of just handing someone a card and hoping that they get in touch with a resource or agency that can provide services, we are able to hold the agency accountable on the time and effectiveness of the connection and the resources delivered, and also hold clients accountable on whether or not they actually show up for appointments, which is a great two-way street, transparent, accountable method. But we also have 20,000 square foot co-working space over by the Dynamo Stadium in East Downtown, and we have 17 agencies on site there in a 5,000 square foot gym. So if you ever want to get a workout, it's a great place to come in and do that.
I'm Eric Goody with the Houston Area Urban League. We are an affiliate of the National Urban League with over 90 locations across the country. Established in 1910, nationally here in Houston since 1968. We provide resources in all the core content areas that impact families: workforce development, training, housing, health, and entrepreneurship. Currently, there are 13 affiliates in the country that have the Entrepreneurship Center designation, where we provide no-cost technical assistance, consultation, access to capital, and procurement through our corporate partnerships. Annually, we facilitate 2 cohorts of the Small Business University. This current cohort is started with about 110 individuals. So, sir, I heard you say a business factory. We actually like to think of ourselves as a business factory, pushing as many of them out as possible. This year, we have had the privilege of facilitating 2 small business exchanges with pitch competitions. The previous was funded by Ford Motors with an emphasis on social enterprise, looking for companies that can serve as Tier 1 or Tier 2 contractors with Ford Motors. The upcoming Small Business Exchange, which is scheduled for December the 7th, funded by Wells Fargo, BP, Shell, BB&T, and Port Houston. Will accommodate a cash award of about $10,000 to the pitch competition winner, and then also unlock procurement opportunities. The Small Business Exchange this year is going to be a 3-day event. It's going to start with a Facebook activation, so Facebook Corporate is coming down to present their small business booths, along with Sodexo Corporation talking about their international procurement opportunities, followed by a small business lending matchmaking session in partnership with the SBA, where Tim and his team brings in 15 to 20 lending institutions, and we go through kind of a speed dating model, connecting our entrepreneurial clients with the right type of financing opportunities, and then culminating in the Small Business Exchange, which is a 1-day event of technical assistance and the pitch competition. As I close though, we create pathways through the EC to participate in all of the partner organizations. Certainly Station Houston and Grace and her entire ecosystem has participated. The Houston Community College from the Center for Entrepreneurship, the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Initiative Program, the Business Pitch Competition. We have members going onto these various programs, building capacity, pitching, and generating revenue by their participation. So thank you for having us.
Hi everyone, my name is Estela Gonzalez. I'm the Director of Education and Economic Opportunity for Baker Ripley. For those of you that don't know, Baker Ripley has been around for 112 years. We actually started in the East End, so welcome to the neighborhood. I was also born and raised in this community. And we started over 100 years ago in Ripley House, which is down the street. You can walk there from here. And although we've been around for a long time, I do like to say that we have our programs that are much newer, like our Small Business Development Program. One of the areas that I oversee is our Small Business Program. And what we do is what you've been hearing a lot here today. What's unique about our program is that we offer our coaching, our classes, our pitch competition exclusively in Spanish. And also we're starting to enter as well into serving some of our English speakers that are coming into our community. What I like to say is that we do community entrepreneurship. A gap that we saw in the community when we started the small business program in 2015 was that nobody was serving the neighbors that were at our centers. We have 6 community centers across Houston, and what we saw was that these entrepreneurs didn't have the resources they needed, the education, the classes, back then in their language. And as Brenda so eloquently put it, it's not that they're not eager to learn English or trying to do that, as I like to call them, the English language learners, but they're much more comfortable learning in their home language. So we wanted to meet them where they are. That's what we do at Baker Ripley. And so we created our own curriculum. We didn't do what a lot of other partners were doing at that time, or a lot of service partners were doing, which is kind of just putting classes together or speakers together. We really felt like the entrepreneurs needed to have a curriculum, something formalized, so it was painstaking, but we did that. We created our own curriculum and have now grown it to have classes for those who are looking to start a business and also those who are already in business. And in that class, it's called our Grow class. We have entrepreneurs that have been in business for over 20 years. And then also our launch class, it could just be idea stage or startup. And then most recently, we started our Kaufman class. For those familiar with Kaufman Foundation, and if you're an entrepreneur in the room and are not familiar with Kaufman Foundation, please take the time to Google that. We are an affiliate of Kaufman and have taken on their fast track course. We have our second class going on right now, and that class is in English, and for a small fee, I believe it's $50. You're able to take that course, and again, we're doing a lot of that ecosystem building. As I hear Aaron talk about that, those partners, it's true. You know, we have our Facebook workshops have traveled to HCC Southeast, and we hosted them there. We have matchmaking events with lenders in English and Spanish through the SBA and Tim in his office across. The scale that we have is that we're able to go across Houston, so we can have them in Aldine, North Houston, all the way to Southeast Pasadena, and that's really where we've been concentrating to take our work. We also have our coaching program, so really individualized long-term coaching that we do with entrepreneurs, and we can do that in English and Spanish, so that's really unique. We have a bilingual coaching program, and then we have our Spanish language pitch competition with the City of Houston OBO office that we do annually as well. It's coming up next month. Atlanta de Houston, yes, thanks Tim, great partner. And we also have some auxiliary services, I like to call them, networking events, workshops, as I mentioned earlier. A new part of my work that I've taken on is I also oversee the Fab Lab that we have in Aldine, that's North Houston. That space is like a maker space. It has 3D printing, it has woodworking, a metal shop. Right now, for the last year, the direction was really focusing on K through 12 education, but we are focused on increasing our presence with entrepreneurs. So if you're interested in that, I'd love to connect with you about the Fab Lab. And yeah, I think that's it.
Well, I'm intimidated. This is such an all-star team. I'm sure you will be too. My name is Tim Jeffcoat with the Small Business Administration. Just in a nutshell, we help Americans start and grow their small businesses. We're the United States federal government. I and my team here in the Houston area, what we focus on are 4 things. Lots of details under there. First, counseling. For small businesses that need somebody that you need to talk to somebody, you need them to help you with your business plan or figure out your social media strategy, how to do your quarterly taxes. We have about 250 folks that are available to you completely free right here in the Houston area. Capital. Small businesses often need capital. So we guarantee bank loans here in the last year, about $1 billion worth, that's with a B, in the Houston area. Those range from $500 to $5.5 million. We actually seed venture capital firms. So there are venture capital firms here in Houston that are partners with the SBA. We're helping them do more and better investments into small businesses. We guarantee bonds. So for those of you that might need payment bonds, performance bonds, those kinds of things, we guarantee those to increase your bonding capacity, which is the #1 thing holding you back from growing, is being able to get bigger bonding. And we actually give away money, not much, to those that are innovating technologies. So we have a program where we will grant money to you to fund you up to $1.5 million to develop a technology. In the last 5 years, here in the Houston area, we've given away $177 million for that purpose. Those are not easy to get, but they're worth pursuing. Third thing we do is for those more mature small businesses that are really ready to break out. If you qualify, we will work directly with you, people on my team, over up to a 9-year period to help you grow. The way that we do it is by, in addition to some special training, we give you special access to contracts with the United States government. The U.S. government buys more of anything than anyone. Great success story, one of our firms that has been out of the program now for a couple of years. She went from a handful of employees to about 500 in 9 years with over $150 million in federal contracts. She never sleeps, she works like crazy, but she's motivated and she took advantage of every tool we had for her. Then the final thing is, heaven forbid your business is ever affected by a disaster, we will be there to help you. We help you not only through direct loans from the United States government to help you rebuild your business, or if your business is fine but your customers are affected, to help you continue to exist while your customers come back. And then we also, if it's a big enough disaster, set up what's called business recovery centers, where we can help coach you to reconstitute your supply chain, or to reach out to new areas of customers. Or a story I heard just yesterday, a company that did catering had 4 trucks in Galveston. They were affected by floods. Their customers were affected. What they did is they removed all the catering equipment from the vans and they put in material to let them do roofing and fencing. And they became a roofing and fencing company for 2 years. And they absolutely prospered. And now they are both a roofing and fencing and catering company. So those are the things that we do.
Hello everyone, my name is Tiffany Williams and I'm here today representing Diversity Fund Houston. It is a new micro and venture capital fund, and our focus is on investing in African American and Hispanic technology founders. So we are partnering with the Houston Area Urban League and a few other organizations here in Houston, and our goal is to help fund entrepreneurs in what we call the friends and family round. So traditionally, African Americans and Hispanic founders are getting less than 2% of VC funding. And we believe that is due to the fact that they're not involved in those networks, so they don't have access to traditional VCs, and because they don't have friends and family with money to loan them to, who in that community has a family member with $50,000 to fund an idea? So we are going to serve as the friends and family round for those entrepreneurs so that they can get prepared to go in front of a traditional VC when they're ready. And so as a prerequisite, they'll have to go through the Houston Area Urban League Small Business Development University, be put with a mentor, and then get additional training and education. And then if they're ready, they can apply for funding from us. If they're not, then we would send them on to another program such as Sandra's HCC Small Business Plan Competition, or somewhere else will be filled that they could get more training, such as an accelerator program or something along those lines. So we're probably the newest of the bunch that's up here, but that's essentially what we'll be doing. And so we're hoping that we can fund more entrepreneurs, because we know that it's going to be up to us to create the technology that solves the problems impacting our communities. Nobody else is going to do that for us. And so that's what Diversity Fund Houston is looking to do.
Thank you all so much for sharing all of the great programs that you are hosting. So Tim mentioned qualifying, and Tiffany mentioned being ready. Can all of you actually, can we go down the row and describe what kind of entrepreneurs are you looking for, and how can they best prepare to approach you for support?
So we are looking for entrepreneurs in the seed and pre-seed round, so very early stage startups. Of course, we have a due diligence list and everything that they'll, set of criteria that they'll have to meet. But as I mentioned, they will have to go through the Houston Area Urban League Small Business Development Program in order to be eligible. But they do need to have projections. They do need to have their information in order that shows that they do have this business, and they've done some research, and they've done, the things that they need to do to, that they've done some of their own due diligence. But they'll have that list that they would have to go through in order to get to the next level with us. So I know that was kind of vague, but we're still working. We're still working through all of those things. We actually officially launch in January of 2020.
So we work with anyone and everyone, irrespective of anything. We help Americans start and grow their small businesses. With that said, my district, it's 32 counties here in Texas. We have about 620,000 small businesses and 8 million people in that district. And I've got a staff of 13. So most of what I do is leverage other organizations in order to help you. That's why you heard all these folks talk about how we're already in partnership with one another on various things. We make sure that we have a good leveraging partnership network to be able to help folks. So if you were to call me and say, Tim, I need some advice on this thing I'm doing, the odds are very good. Well, I'll meet with you for sure, but I probably can't help you. But I will know 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people that can help you. And what I'll do is I'll connect you. I know I already connected once already today, and I'll probably connect again. But we can connect you with someone that can help you.
So over the years, we've been able to refine really what our target market is. But honestly, there's very few things that we say that we can't help you with. So even if it is just coming in, we do what we call our office hours or our walk-in hours. You don't need an appointment, you can just come in and meet with the staff. We have a lot of referrals that we do. So I ask, if you don't know, we're trying to be that one-stop shop model, because there's a lot of organizations, right? Even just today in this room of what everybody's doing. For many years before we started our own class in English with the Kaufman Foundation, we didn't have a class of our own. So what we did was always refer to Sher or to Hall. And even when we did, if it's during the time that we're already running a cohort, we'll share that information. We always say there's enough to go around. It could just be our nonprofit background, but we're not competitive in that sense at all. The one thing of the people that we probably can't serve, we don't serve youth right now in programming. We are focused on adults. I will say that I also run our after-school programs for youth for the agency. So I am focused on spending some time next year to figure out what that would look like and how we can teach youth some entrepreneurship skills. But as far as our program, our small business development program, it is for adults. We only ask that you're coachable. That's our biggest thing. There is an application process. We ask for data because we report back to our funders. We want to show our outcomes. We're very heavy in metrics, so we're showing what the demographics of our clients are, what number of jobs they were able to create, how did they increase their assets, were they able to access a loan through one of our micro lending partners. And so we ask for a lot of data, but if you're an adult that's coachable, and that's really all you need. We do create our services kind of in a two-tier model. So we have what we call our launch services and our grow services. So even if you're just in the idea stage, we have some information for you. We have a class, a workshop. You can even enroll into our coaching program with just an idea. But we are going to go through an application process with you to make sure that you're ready and you're committed. And then for growth, same thing. We have a set of classes for that. If you're looking to scale, we have the right partner, the mentor, the referral for that. So as long as you're willing to work hard, you come and talk to us.
So our programs service individuals that are pre-venture, venture startups, those that are operational, and those that are in the maturation phase. We don't really have a very stringent guideline on who can apply, only that they make a commitment to the process. In addition to the Small Business University, which is a 12-week cohort, we provide one-on-one consultation through our business consultants. So we have some individuals come in that are a lot more prepared, that need specific services, where they meet with a consultant that helps them to expedite based on that particular need, and then go directly to solutions. Oftentimes those same individuals will come back and go through various modules that address a specific area of technical assistance that they might require. But as you've heard, I mean, it's so much. I mean, our city is resource rich. So we have an articulation agreement with the MBDA. Typically our clients are those that have been in business for less than 2 years, have 4 or fewer employees, and making around $750,000. Above there, we typically will refer to the MBDA, create a pathway for the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Initiative program, and or other organizations that have a greater capacity and certainly a lot more funding that can accommodate a larger need. Typically, we will serve about 800 to 1,000 individuals per year, but oftentimes, as you've heard, these individuals are going from organization to organizations, taking advantage of all of the various resources that are available.
I would just say that I've been a beneficiary of multiple agencies like the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program, the HCC New Spring Business Plan Competition, SBDC, SBA. So I mean, like you get everything you can when you can. So from a combined arms perspective, we're a clearinghouse and a guide to all the different resources for veterans. There's 450 different organizations serving veterans in Houston. Of those, 50 are worth working with, and those are our member agencies. So when we typically see people coming to us for entrepreneurial services, typically it's accompanied with, I need to pay my bills this week. So those are typically not the people that we're trying to make sure that the career services are met. So usually we're directing them into more, let's get your family fed this week, and we'll stabilize, and then we'll kind of refer up the value chain into that next opportunity. But with Bunker Labs, it's really an entrepreneur at any stage of ideation to success is welcome. So if you know a veteran or military spouse that is considering or working on something, please connect them with me. But we always try to partner with others in the community to make sure that we're delivering programs. The SBA has a Boots to Business program that we host over at Combined Arms. We've done events at Impact Hub, and so we don't try to deliver services. We try to convene the veteran community and build that network like you were talking about. The veteran community after World War II was 50% of veterans leaving World War II started companies. Right now, 25% of veterans leaving the service say they would like to start a business. 4% will. So you have a highly trained, motivated, and equipped skill set base that doesn't directly translate into a lot of things, but I'll tell you, it's the best thing that ever happened to me for running a business. And with Houston being the second largest veteran population in the country with 300,000, we're the fastest growing, with 3,000 military members moving to Houston, whether because we're the second largest recruiting station in the country and they're coming home, or they're coming here for jobs, or the prospect of jobs, this is the best place in America for veterans. And so we have the opportunity to build a really vast and depth inside of this community, but it doesn't currently exist, and that's what we're trying to fix. Because we don't need to recreate the wheel on a veteran SBA, you know, and we just need a resource to the SBA, to the Urban League. The veteran community is, in my opinion, the last great melting pot in America. We pull predominantly from urban centers and rural communities. 90% of the force is enlisted, which means they typically do not have a college education. It is extremely diverse in all backgrounds and walks of life. And so, you know, we have the population set that can access every type of program that the city offers. And so, you know, a veteran, again, just put them in touch with us. We're probably going to push them back out to other folks here on this esteemed panel, but they're now part of a community that will support and elevate them.
It's great work. So, you know, with TIE, our goal really is, you know, fostering entrepreneurship, building wealth for, you know, obviously the entrepreneur, but also the communities in which they serve. So, you know, we have 5 pillars in which we, you know, incubate ideas. So we work with our, you know, any entrepreneur from any industry who are seasonal executives who have multiple exits, serial entrepreneurs who have, you know, created wealth and then started all over again, and created wealth and started all over again. So a lot of different diverse industries represented in TIE. You know, when you come out to our socials, we you know, we don't really care what age group or what ethnicity. We really care about, you know, how passionate are you about the idea, what do you want to do, what's your next step. So while incubating ideas, we also want to educate around entrepreneurship. We also want to mentor, so we look to get into an active role with the companies that come out to TIE, or entrepreneurs that want to work with TIE. We also invest. TIE, almost every CM is a qualified accredited investor. We work very closely with the Houston Angel Network, and we look for deal flow, and we invest where the unique thing that we bring as TIE is our global connection. If one chapter finds a great entrepreneur that's, you know, ready to scale it up to the next level, all of us TIE guys jump in, and girls and women. We have initiatives around young TIE entrepreneurs, so we go into high schools to run the Lemonade Days, as well as run TIE boot camps to talk about lean canvas. We also have initiatives around TIE women, and really try to support women entrepreneurs with the community of women business owners across the globe. And then lastly, you know, we have a TIE social entrepreneurship initiative in which we try to look at people, yes, profit, purpose, right, and help those entrepreneurs. So really, I think we offer, you know, incubating, educating, mentoring, investing as services. So we don't have a clear demographic of who we would like to attract. We just like to attract entrepreneurs, and we want to create wealth for them, for us, and our communities.
Thank you so much. So I'm going to ask one more question and then open it to questions, so start thinking about what you want to ask. My last question is, we are going to share this video online. We want to promote the great resources that you all represent. Can you tell people how can they engage with you? You know, website, email address, or, you know, who can they contact, and how can they engage with your organization?
Sure. So I'll start. So TIE is TIE.org. That's the global website, and then to find the Houston chapter, you would type houston.tie.org. Me personally, so my name is Ravi Brambad. I am part of the startup ecosystem. I wear many hats because I truly care about entrepreneurship in our community, and I think that's kind of the only viable career choice people should be considering. Being a former entrepreneur myself, having had tech startups that with good exits, and having owned a restaurant, and having started a medical device company. So I've had some success, and I think more people should know about it. So reach out to me, find me on LinkedIn. My name is spelled R-A-V-I, and then my last name is long, but it's not long. It's B-R-A-H-M-B-H-A-T-T. So don't search for Ravi Long. That's not going to work. It's Ravi Corona. But my last name is Long. So, just if you don't mind, put that on the invite. Thank you.
So you can just go to bunkerlabs.org and find the Houston chapter. It'll have our series of events. You can sign up for the newsletter specific to Houston there, and that goes out every couple of weeks, I think. As well as you can find Combined Arms at combinedarms.us, and that's just a great clearinghouse for anything you might meet with a veteran that needs something. And then feel free to ever connect with me. And a lot of people just go, hey, I know a vet. They got a thing going. Can I send them to you? And I'm like, I have no idea what that thing is, but yeah, just send them over this. So I get that all the time. Don't feel bad if you just send me something really crazy. It's this really long email with a long story. I get that all the time. It's fine.
So you can connect with the Houston Area Urban League at www.haul.org. Our main number, 713-393-8700. My direct line, 713-393-8754. Or you can connect with the National Urban League at www.nul.org. As I mentioned, there are 13 entrepreneurship centers across the country. So as you travel, or if you know other individuals, you can connect them to the EC network. Again, we're here to serve.
So if you want to learn more about Baker Ripley, you can go to bakerripley.org. I will say that it's under construction, so if you don't find information regarding our small business program, you can always email at opportunity@bakerripley.org, and that goes to our team in the small business program, and we can get you to the right place. If you want to connect with me, you can find me on LinkedIn, Estela Gonzalez. As well, if you want to learn more about our Fab Lab, their own website is fablabhouston.org.
I'm going to follow where she left off. You can connect with me on LinkedIn as well, Tim Jeffcoat. But the SBA website, you can simply Google Houston SBA and you'll get it. But the website is www.sba.gov/tx/Houston. The number one thing you want to do, bottom right-hand corner of my webpage, you can sign up for our information. We will inform you every time we do anything, and last year we did about 1,300 events out of my office. So you'll get that information on a continuous stream of it. We're not going to spam you.
To contact us, you can go to thediversityfund.com, or you can connect with us on social media. We're Diversity Fund Houston on all channels, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions?
So Cecil Ivy, City's Best Funeral Concierge. So what was the last book you read that was most impactful?
So for me, the most impactful book that I've read, that I've read for business was The E-Myth Revisited by Michael E. Gerber. Hands down, one of my favorite business books. I read it 2 years into my business, and it completely changed my perspective on how I ran it. And then currently I'm reading Clockwork, and the author's name is escaping me, but I can get it to you before the end of this. But it's just talking about automation and how to run your business more effectively and efficiently. So it's pretty good so far, but definitely The E-Myth is one of my all-time favorites.
So believe it or not, I just finished a book called The Invisibility Cloak. It's a Chinese book translated into English, and it's all about there will always be brighter days.
So I read a lot of fiction because I work a lot. And so right now I'm actually reading 1984. It's pretty, I don't know how I feel about it yet, but yeah, so I like to use reading to escape a little bit. I'm also reading Between the World and Me. That's nonfiction, but that's also, I like to kind of have fiction and nonfiction as well, and I would highly recommend that as well.
Frankly, I have not read a book recently. Because of the work that I do, I am reading 8 hours a day. The current topics that are of most interest are, of course, technology, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and any articles that talk about the efficiencies that are being integrated into the economy that is going to displace current workers.
So it's not a small book, but Team of Rivals. If you're not familiar with how Abraham Lincoln led, I was kind of turned on to it because I was having conflict with somebody that I couldn't resolve and work. And I mean, the things that man had to put up with and do is pretty great. You might want to take notes while you do it. That's one thing I regret. I'm actually going to have to reread it.
So it's not about entrepreneurship per se, but what schools could be by Ted Dinkersmith is what I've really found inspirational. We truly should be thinking about the education industry of our country, and that entrepreneurship should be taught as a career choice where we're headed.
I'll add one book to that too. The First 90 Days. So it's good, it's really about change management, but because it's telling you what you should do in the first 90 days, it's also applicable to when you're starting a business, right? The things that you have to think through, how do you need to deal with a team, whether that's a team of volunteers or a team of staff. There's just like so many really good information nuggets in there. Any other questions?
Hi, Brian Alexander Thomas, co-founder and CEO of Humanity. You mentioned a lot of different resources that are more or less agnostic to the particular stage or industry of these entrepreneurs. But have you noticed any general trends that Houston might have as far as where you find more money is headed, or larger problems that you find are of more interest for the city to solve?
Again, I think there's significant emphasis on technology. When you look at the current development with an investment, Rice University and the new ION coming online, major corporations looking at technology and the implementation into the workforce and how they will potentially scale their models of service delivery and or product efficiency. Technology is not a wave of the future, it is the wave of the now. And what we are doing at the Urban League is not only trying to educate our consumers on how to benefit through technology in small business, but how to better prepare themselves for the workforce of the future.
Yeah, I think for us, it's something that we've seen not only as a trend, but as Eric mentioned, technology being so important. But for us, it felt like it was leaving a vacuum. If everybody's focused on technology, the money's going on technology, the new grants are going to technology-based businesses, the media attention, then what's going on with your neighborhood mom and pop shops? What's going on with the barber shops? That families in the community to open up their own business. So for us, we chose to focus on industries that were not technology focused. And that's what we've been doing because we do believe that the hearts of the communities are these community-owned businesses. A general trend in Houston that I think a lot of, I have to do some more reading on myself, is just like the equity happening right now and how can we make sure that this development that's coming in, that there's equity in the process, specifically talking about opportunity zones and trying to make sure that I get up to date on opportunity zones and what does that mean when we have this investment coming into communities that have historically been underserved, disenfranchised. If you have all this money coming into a community that has been so underserved for so long, how can we make sure that's done in an equitable manner? So it's not saying that these communities, second ward, third ward, fifth ward, are not pro-development, but how can we make sure that people who have been here for generations, for a long time, that have been making it when it was very tough to live in these neighborhoods, that they can also benefit from the investment that's coming in now.
That was very good. One of the challenges of being the district director of the SBA is we care about every single one of them. So there's a lot of talk and there's a lot of attention right now, and rightly so in Houston, related to technology-oriented firms and folks that will be in the ION, et cetera. And that's important, but that's, even in Austin, that's 10% of the economy. So the other 90%, I gotta worry about them a lot too. So we spend an awful lot of time making sure that they get taken care of. So when you talk about where's the money going, I always have to look at it in two ways. Where does it go in terms of loans? Where does it go in terms of equity? In terms of loans, I can tell you right now that so far as the $1 billion that SBA guaranteed last year, probably 65 or 75% are in services. A whole wide range of services. So that's as Estella was saying, that's kind of the bread and butter of the economy in Houston.
Yeah, I don't really have much else to add. I think, as Eric mentioned, technology is now, and so that's where we're focusing on with our fund, tech and tech-enabled businesses, because we understand. I mean, I get that there are mom and pop businesses, and they are the backbone, and that is important to the economy. But I think technology and having a focus there is where, I mean, it's now, as Eric mentioned. So that's what we're focused on as a fund.
I'll jump in too. So I was a co-founder of Station Houston, right? We started that as a tech startup hub to serve tech entrepreneurs. And one of the recurring themes, though, that we found within the broader community is that for every tech entrepreneur, you're going to find at least 9 other entrepreneurs, because they need, laundry services, they need food, they need groceries, they need all of these other services and cafes, right? But all this entire culture pops up around a tech community. So having both is really important. But I agree that there needs to be more funding and more financial resources put into that other 90%, right? Because that's what makes the city resilient. I've seen a couple of presentations from the Greater Houston Partnership now, where they're saying even with the downturn in oil and gas, and then there was a downturn in real estate, and there's every time there's a downturn, Houston still doesn't suffer that poorly because of how diverse our businesses and our economic ecosystem is. So I appreciate all of you for the work that you do to support all of the other, the 90% of entrepreneurs in the city too. Kevin, did you want to say something?
Yeah, and go back to the earlier question as well. There's a really great book called The Millionaire Next Door. And okay, that's a lot of 9 heads. So I'll be really quick. One of the use cases they really hammer in on there is dry cleaners, right? It's a small business, you don't think much about it, but they're really good at playing defense with their business, which means they're really good at playing defense with the equity that they bring home. So in the end, they end up having equity at the end of their business cycle, right, at the end of their retirement. And so I think that where the money is where you can put it in your pocket, wherever you can keep it. And that some things get sexy, but that doesn't necessarily mean that people are making money off of it. So, the unsexy things are the things that make money. The gold rush did make people rich, but selling pickaxes and, Levi jeans seems to suck around.
Look at Under Armour.
Oh, yeah.
They make things you sweat in. One of the largest, fastest growing companies in the United States, and helped by SBA in the beginning, by the way.
Yeah, and I was also thinking about the most recent unicorn, right? So Unicorn is a company that exits for $1 billion. Our most recent unicorn is Drunk Elephant. That's a cosmetics company.
That's right.
Right, $985 million to Shiseido. So who is going to be our next unicorn? It might not come from the tech community. And with that, if there are no more questions, thank you so much to all of our panelists for joining us.